I'm very pleased today to introduce Christina Shelton. She has written a book that I think is a fitting book in our time. It's a very straightforward account of a man by the name of Alger. Christina Shelton's background was she worked for a number of think tanks and then was in the intelligence community for some 20 years. And she worked at both, primarily at DIA, but had details to CIA and the FBI and the Office of the Secretary of Defense, retiring in 2006. And this is her first book. So I'm pleased to say I was certainly very impressed with it, and I look forward to a very interesting interview. So please help me welcome Christina Shelton.
You started out your introduction in the book by asking, why do we need another book about Hiss? So, and he has been extensively written about. So what's your answer to that? Why do we need this book? Why did you write this book?
Well, I wrote the book because I've always been interested in the subject, counterintelligence, espionage, and of course Hiss is one of the most famous cases, if not the most, after the Rosenbergs. And it's just a fascinating saga because you're dealing with two men who were on opposing sides with different worldviews, interesting people, brilliant people. The story is fascinating just in and by itself. Then I started thinking, you know, most of the books on Hiss, there have been a lot written. Do I want to write a book? Most of them focus on the case. Who is telling the truth during the trials and during the congressional hearings? I thought it was much more than that. I saw it as a strategic view and perspective. What mattered was ideology. That's what Hiss was about. That's what drove his thinking. That's what drove his behavior. These two opposing worldviews between collectivism and individualism are so clearly seen in the struggle between these two men. This is almost a titanic struggle between the two. So I thought it was important to put the story in the context of ideology. I also thought it was important to tell more about his significant role in foreign policy, especially at Alger and the founding of the UN. And as I said just now, having his personal papers from the NYU archives, which showed a very humanistic side of his sweetness almost, as Whittaker Chambers acknowledged. He was a very sweet man. His concern and love for his wife, and especially Tony, his son, all of this comes through in his correspondence. You see this very human side of the man, which didn't necessarily come through in other books. And finally, most importantly, the KGB archives and Hungarian archives were available to pretty much put the final nail in the coffin. I mean, especially the KGB archives, where Hiss is cited not only by his crypt and cover name, but in clear text, Alger Hiss, in the archives.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's thank Christina Shelton for a fascinating
I just wanted to add a footnote for those of you who've been through the museum. At the foot of the stairs in the museum is a door.